So today, as I look at Africa in that new scramble, the Chinese are here. I hope that this institution was not built by the Chinese. The Turks are here. The British are here. The French are here. The Qataris are here. The Americans are here. This time round, they are so subtle that we don't even recognize them, but they control us. What are we going to do about it in order to develop? We must do something. And if we don't do that thing else.
Hello guys, welcome to the show. I hope everyone is doing just fine. Today on the show, we got some very interesting topics to talk about. And we hope that this information that we share on this show will help you better up your own life. But before we get to our conversation for today, please do us a favor. Kindly support us by subscribing to this channel, like this video, and leave us a comment below. Okay, tell us what you think about the show, and tell us about what you think we could improve on. Like I said before, we are trying to build a community that will educate us, that will bounce information back and forth, that would be as a platform where we can go there to get inspired, to get knowledge about the things that we value the most. And I do understand that sometimes my takes on things have not necessarily be yours. Maybe we have a different of opinion, which is, I particularly think is great. Now, it might not be great for you. I'm sorry about that. But I believe that we are at liberty to have different opinions on things. We are at liberty not to believe in the same thing, right? We are at liberty not to have the same set of values and morals, right? I think we are at liberty to do that as long as we are not hurting each other, as long as what you are doing doesn't hurt me physically or mentally, and as long as what I am doing doesn't hurt you physically, doesn't stop you from going about your daily activities, I think it's fine. I guess you guys would accept with me, right? If we are just doing our own thing and minding our own business and sharing our thoughts and opinions on the things we value the most, and we are not stopping others from sharing their thoughts, we are not stopping others from going about their daily activities, we are not preventing others from doing what they want to do to better up their lives, then everything is good and fine, isn't it? So please, let me just say it one more time. Please support the show, like this video, subscribe to the channel, because that helps so much, and we shall forever be grateful to you. So let's continue with our first story for today. It is from someone I have revered a lot. I have so much respect for, and since I came to know him, he has always been so inspirational. In fact, most of the Pan-African views that I now share, I got them from him. He has been someone who has been very consistent with his views on Africa unity. And he is someone who believes that the only way we can move forward, the only way we can really get our deserved position on the decision-making table is for us to unite as one body, to speak with one voice. There is so much power that comes with togetherness. And that is why our distractors, people that do not want us to get better, people who do not want us to be strong, to develop ourselves, will do whatever it takes to keep us apart. The Westerners will never support Africa unity because they know that if Africa unites, if Africa speaks with one voice, they will find it very, very difficult to get their way in the continent. And so they have been doing their best to sabotage whatever the African people are trying to do, allegedly. So let's hear what Prof. Lumumba had to say. And when we come back, I shall give you my thoughts and opinion on what he just said. Let's watch.
We'll elect our presidents. We'll elect our governors. We'll have our ministers. That will happen, but they are not bothered. After we have elected them, you'll then see them sending their arrows ahead. You'll see Bill Gates come and meet your president. You'll see Tony Blair come and meet your president. You'll see Macron come and meet your president. You'll see all of them. And then they will never admit, but they'll be told, if you want money in agriculture, behave this way. If you want money in this area, behave this way. They will never tell that to the Chinese. They will never tell that to the Indians. They will never tell that to the Vietnamese. They will never tell that to the Koreans, but in Africa, they tell us. That is why, as I speak to you now, under this new scramble, the IMF and the World Bank are back, telling you who to hire in your universities, what to sell and what not to sell. It is a sad situation. So today, as I look at Africa in that new scramble, the Chinese are here. I hope that this institution was not built by the Chinese. The Turks are here. The British are here. The French are here. The Qataris are here. The Americans are here. This time round, they are so subtle that we don't even recognize them, but they control us. What are we going to do about it in order to develop? We must do something. And if we don't do that thing else, you who have been trained in this institution, you have traveled the world. You have traveled Nigeria. There are two things that you can do with your traveling. You can marvel. Says it is great in China. You can marvel. You can wonder or feel pain. I'm urging you to feel pain. To feel pain for the continent of Africa, and in your own way, when you go out there, go and do something about it, because it has also been demonstrated that it can be done. I've traveled across this continent and I've seen that development is possible. I was in Rwanda before 1994. I was in Rwanda in 1996. Genocide. 1 million dead. Its obituary written. Will never rise, they said. You go to Rwanda now. They are demonstrating that it can be done. Go to Kigali now. See what they are doing in the health sector in their own small way. See how they are collaborating in the area of mobile telephony in their own small way. It can be done. I've been to Botswana and I've seen what they are doing in their own small way. I've been to Mauritius, see what they are doing in their own small way. And they do not have the resources that other countries have. They do not have the resources that the Democratic Republic of Congo has. And I'm giving these examples to say that indeed it can be done, and it can be done within the continent of Africa.
For sure, Prof, it can be done. Like I have always told you guys, Africa's development is our collective responsibility. We all must tackle this problem in Africa head on. It's not just a problem for somebody else. You must do your best to develop Africa. You must participate in this development of Africa. Okay. Now, just sharing of information about Africa and the problem, just people being informed about what Africa is going through and how it can be solved, it's already half the problem solved. Just letting everyone know that the Chinese are in Africa, not because they love Africa the most, not because they want to see Africa grow and develop, not because they felt like Africans and the Chinese are brothers. No. If they really did that, then they wouldn't treat Africans in China the way they treat them. If you've been to China, or if you have someone who've been to China, they can testify. I have been there. I know I was in China for 3 years. So I can tell you categorically that Africans are not being viewed in a positive light in China as compared to how the Chinese view the European or the Americans. No. They might accommodate us because we serve a purpose. They might let the Nigerians in because they want to export their products to Nigeria. They might let some Africans in because those Africans are coming in to buy Chinese products to export to their respective countries. But generally, they don't think that we are of equal footing with them. So they don't love us. What about the Arabian nations? The Qataris, the Saudi Arabians, the Omanis, the Bahrains. What about them? Or is it Kuwaitis? What about them? They don't view us as equal people. No. That is why when our migrant workers, when people from Africa move to those Arab nations to look for employment, if you see the way they are being treated, my brothers and sisters, you will share fears. I have seen stories of people who are being treated like slaves in those Arab countries. There are tons of videos about such treatments. You can just go online and research for yourself. Even, I think the Kenyan authorities have started putting certain guidelines in place for Kenyans who want to go to work in the Middle East. Because people have died. Kenyans have died as a result of the way they were treated by their employers in the Middle East. The Middle East is not a good place for Africans. No. One of the worst places you could even find yourself is Qatar. Qatar is one of the worst places for any African to go there and look for a job. So they don't see us as equal people. No, they don't. What about the Europeans? With their democracy, with their human rights, with their freedom of all, with their liberty to move. How do they view us? If they really thought that they love African people, if they really thought that the African people were people that could be treated as an equal to the European people, they won't push back the boats of migrant workers, some of them who are just fleeing from persecution from their home countries. They won't push them back into the ocean. No. Or they won't put policies in place to deport asylum seekers back to Africa. They won't be spending millions of pounds just to create a proxy nation in Africa so that they can ship back all those asylum seekers from their countries back to Africa. They will not be doing that. What about the Americans? The champion of democracy, the number one champion of democracy, the only country that values everyone the same, the only country that claims they are the world police and they are fair and honest in their judgment. What about them? The case, the current incident in Gaza can speak for itself. I don't need to say anything about that one because everyone know if there's one country that is as hypocritical as anything can be, is America. Is America. When their interest is threatened, you will see how dictatorial they will become. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anything. They care only about their own interests. So for you, an African sitting in Africa thinking that this Western power, these Eastern powers, they are in Africa because somehow they want to bring democracy to Africa or they want to save us from our authoritarian leaders in Africa. Sorry to disappoint you. They really do not care. They do not care. And so Prof is mainly stating the fact here that Africans have got to sit up. We Africans have got to realize that the progress and development of our beloved continent Africa is our collective responsibilities, and no one will do it for us. We have got to do it for ourselves. Because remember, the Asians built Asia, the Chinese built China, the Arabians built the Middle East, right? The Qataris, they built their country. The Saudi Arabians built their country. Okay, same like in Europe. The Europeans built Europe. They won't build Africa for us. We, the Africans, must build Africa by ourselves. We have to do it. And if we do not take this to heart, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years will pass us by without us doing anything, with us still being as underdeveloped as we are, even though we are the richest continent in the world. Let that sink in for a second. Let that sink in for a second. So, let us hear your take on what Prof said. What do you think about it? Do you think that our leaders must be smart with how they deal with these outsiders? Or do you think that our leaders are smart enough to even deal with these outsiders? That should be the first question. Because some of the deals our leaders are making with the outsiders, especially with the Chinese, is not favorable to us at all. So, are our leaders skillful enough to know what is good for us, to really speak on our behalf? Let us know in the comment section below. Because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, please do us a favor, like I said before, like this video, share it. Okay, leave us a comment below. Because like always, we appreciate hearing what you have to say. Thank you very much. And like always, see you in the next one.